The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing, expecting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep of the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood at just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken some here from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? Ask him, he knows. You won't see the onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his workroom on top of his door. He lurks in his workroom, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of murfed moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps you if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss a 15 cents and a nail and a shell of a great grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes the most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snoove, his secret strange hole, in his grooviest glove. Then he grunts, and I will call you by whisper my phone. For the secrets I tell are your ears alone. Down the whisper my phone to your ear, and the old onceler's whispers are not very clear, and since they have come down through a sniggly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swoopity swans range out of space. One morning I came to a glorious place this to this glorious place. And I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile, and the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rubulous pond came the comfortable sound of humming fish humming while splashing around. But those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their truth was softer than slick, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milky. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down the truffula tree with one chop, and the great skill and the great speedy speed. And I took the soft truth and I knit a feather. The instant I finished, I heard a great gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump. Ooh. Of the tree I chopped down. It wasn't sort of a man. Describe him. That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was the shortest and oldest and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpness and boss. Mister, he said with a sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees. You, for the trees, have no tongues. I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs, and I'm asking you, sir. Oh, yeah, right. He was very upset. He shouted and puffed. What's that thing you made out of my truffula? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped down just one tree. I am doing no harm. I'm just being quite useful. This thing isn't fit me, and a friend is a fine. Some things that all people need. It's a shirt and a sock and a glove and a hat, but has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, for curtains, or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax acts. Sir, you are crazy with greed. No, there's no one on earth who will buy that fool. But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just that, at that minute, a chap came along and he thought that was the thing I ended up was great. He was happily bought it for $13.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. Nah, please. I repeat, cried the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, I built a radiophone, and I put in a quick call. I called my brothers, all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here as fast. Take the road to North Neitz. Turn left at winked. Sharp night at South Stitch. That's not even real. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting, then just at busy bees, to the sound of the chopping of tree. Dad, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented a super hacker, which whacked off 4 truthful trees at one smacker. 4 times as fast as before. And the Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. Good. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots who played in the shade in their barbaloo suits and happily lived eating truthful fruits. Now, thanks for your hacking my trees to the ground. There's not enough truthful fruit to go round, and my poor barbaloots, they're getting the crimmies because they have gas and no food in their tummy. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. The Wantlers felt sad, but I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. Brr. I meant no harm. I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads. The fence I shipped out, I was shipping them north, to the south, to the east, and to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more fence, and I biggered my money with everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes that when that old mussin Lorax came back with more grapes. I am the Lorax he coughed with, and he whiffed. I am the Lorax. Oh yeah, right. He sneezed, and he snuffed, and he snargled, and he sniffed. Once more he cried with a croak. My poor swan, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smoke in his throat. And so the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where would they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly to a month or a year to escape the smog. You smogged up around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax, he danger was up. Let me say a few words, glistening you. And scrub. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old once-were man. You. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more they can hum for their gills. They are all gummed, so I'm sending them off. Oh, their future and weary and in church of water, isn't that so smeary? And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap and say bad. Well, I have my rights, sir. And I'm telling you to intend to go on doing what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring invigorating, turning more truthful trees into fiends, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard a tree fall, the very last truthful tree of them all. So, no more trees, no more fence, no more work to be done. So in time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoking smug cars. Now all that was left beneath and bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing. Just gave me a glance. Just gave me a very sad backward glance. He lifted by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face. When he hoisted himself and took leave of this place, though a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in the mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless, whatever that meant. I just couldn't guess. But that was long ago. But each day since that day, I've sat there and worried away, thought through the years while my buildings have fallen apart. I worried about it with all my heart. But now, says the counselor, now that you're here, the word of the Lord seems perfectly clear, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot. Nothing. It's going to be better. It's not. So Catch calls the counselor. He let something fall. It's a truthful tree. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last truthful seeds. And truthful trees are what everyone needs. Plant a truthful tree, a new truthful tree, a truthful treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.